Hey YouTube, I just wanted to give you a quick update on what's going on with me and the bikes. So I've got another couple months left in the Taylor Spatial Frame, which is going to be a lot of fun. So I've resigned myself to riding a pedal bike until I have enough bone to get this thing off, and at that point I can start riding a electric bike. But until then, it's a 1 hour ride every night at about 8 p.m. Once it reaches about 85 degrees, just to get the bone loading going. Because I've noticed in recent x-rays that actually it's accelerating the time that the fracture is healing. So that's what I've been doing. So I've been riding the recumbent, of course. I put a regular flat proof tire on it, and it's actually rather fast these days. My top speed on this bike is 23.4 miles per hour. And I was able to sustain that for quite a bit, around 23. And it's really just a thrill to ride in so many different ways. Of course, it's not a thrill to carry up a hill, which is what I have to do every time I ride. But that's good for bone building, right? Is to haul a 45-pound bike up a hill. Yeah. On a whim, I decided to go give this thing a ride. I rode this for about 6 months last year. And, it's all right. I put some narrow Lycra tires on it to try to see if I can match the speed of my recumbent, and I can't get there. Like, my top speed's 21, and that's with me just just bursting for a second. Like, I just can't get up to the same speed as the recumbent. Even when I'm in the drop bars, it's just not the same. And as I've went through narrower tires, I've noticed that you can easily get disrupted by any kind of pothole or irregularity in the ground. So when I'm riding this, I'm always looking out for any kind of irregularity that could cause the front wheel to go funky. This is just a painful thing to ride. My lower back hurts. My shoulders eventually start hurting. And I'm always in anxiety, because I'm looking out for things that could disturb the bike, because it's so light and so compromised and puts you in such a weird position that it's a bad way to make speed. Whereas when I'm riding this thing, I'm just looking at scenery, because I have not only a long wheelbase, but I have full suspension and I have fat tires. So I can go and drop off a curb and it's not a big deal. Like, I barely feel it. I can hit a pothole and yeah, that's jarring, but it's not going to destroy my bike. Whereas with this, I could get a pinch flat almost instantly hitting a pothole. So when I'm on this bike, I feel like I'm free. I feel like I'm just cruising. I'm not in a hurry to get anywhere. Of course, I can race. And I enjoy every second of riding it. And this one, yeah, I'm actually in a hurry because I want to get off this bike. And only through riding a recumbent bike for a couple weeks and then getting on an upright did I realize how much I don't like upright bikes. They're slow, they hurt, and they give you a lot of anxiety. And the other thing is, I thought when I bought my semi-recumbent that I would have less visibility and that I would be less safe. I'm not any less safe. Actually, I've realized in my head is very, maybe within inches of where it is on the recumbent bike. Well, this is technically a semi-recumbent, so if I was riding an actual recumbent bike, I would actually have an issue. But this puts my head pretty up there, and so even with the oblivious anarchy type of driving that goes on around here in Salt Lake City, I haven't been any less safe. People still try to run me over at about the same percentage as when I'm riding this, because they're not looking, they're on their cell phones. Other things are going on. So I don't feel any less safe. I'm more comfortable. I'm faster. It's great. It makes riding a bike enjoyable. Like, normally when I ride a bike, there's a purpose to it. There's a place to go. There's a thing to do. But I've been doing a sort of a luxury ride every night at about 8 when it's finally down to 85 degrees and not killing me. And it's just fun. It's fun. It's the same route. Because I have my head up, I can sort of people watch and see what's going on around town. So it's just really so enjoyable. I'm actually looking for a second recumbent bike now. I want to get one that's a full recumbent and just use it as a pedal cycle, and then build this into sort of the fast long range electric monster it's meant to be. And yeah, so buy a recumbent. There's a crap ton of them on eBay. Some of them even have full suspension. They're going for nothing. I mean, they're pretty much, to buy them used is about as cheap as a mountain bike. So there's not much of an excuse to not buy one. Let me show you what I've made for this bike, okay? So this is my battery plate. This was made out of, I guess, some sort of riser for large industrial doors. I found this at Lowe's Hardware, and I cut it up and made it exactly the size that the battery needs. And then what we do is we drill it into these little areas on the frame, which, as you see, I've already kind of mutilated a little bit with the last battery, but this becomes a permanent fixture on the bike. So this is really cool. This is a game changer for this bike, and I think a lot of semi-recumbents with a similar design could go for this kind of battery mount. Now you see there's notches in it. That's so that I can put straps around this battery and compress it against the holder, and then, you know, these this angled metal kind of just prevents the battery from going left or right. But the really funny thing is, when I first put this together, I took a picture of it to post it on Endless-Fear, and I left it right there. And I rode about 2 miles with this thing on my bike, and because I had my headphones on, I didn't notice it clanking around. But I heard this really loud clank, and I was like, what the hell is that? So I pull back, this thing's sitting on the back of my bike still, after hitting bumps and everything. So I'm like, that's a good sign, you know, and also really great stupid luck that this thing stayed on. And so I thought, how cool is that? Yeah. So I'm super pleased. So I have enough material to make another one of these, because this is just a gigantic piece of aluminum. And I think it cost me $40 or so. I didn't even check the price. I was like, wait a minute, that's as wide as the big EM3 EV battery. I'm just buying it. I'm not even looking at the price. It doesn't matter. So I have a nice battery carrying capability now. And so when I'm ready to convert it to an electric bike, I've got most of my work done for me. I just need to build some kind of aerodynamic stuff, and then the bike's mostly done. I may do some things like cover this up so that it doesn't add extra air resistance, because I'm sure that this is just air resistance and turbulence central. Maybe this could also get blocked up as well. You know, the front fairing, all that fun stuff. So yeah, the build is going at kind of a glacial pace, and I'm just being a boring cyclist, but man, do I enjoy the ride on this little recumbent. I mean, oh man, I can't explain it. You just need to go ride one if you haven't ridden one before. You'll understand. After you get over like the spooky steering that happens like below 5 miles per hour, and you get used to, you know, wobbling around a little bit and then getting started. Yeah, it's the best. It's the best bike. And also, one important thing is, a lot of these bikes come with like these kind of wimpy little handlebars. I installed these big BMX units on mine, and it's made the handling at lower speeds a lot better. I'll show you, maybe I can find the originals. Oh, it's such a mess. But yeah, this is the original handlebar, and it's kind of, you'll see that it's a lot more narrow, and it kind of tilted downwards. It's just, I don't know, they don't seem to be right. Like, the wider the bar, the more stable the bike becomes, to the point where I don't feel bad riding this in crowds at about 2 miles per hour anymore. Now, 1 mile per hour, yeah, it's a little slow, but if I end up somehow on a pedestrian path, I can just kind of weave in and out of people pretty easily with these wide bars. Now, everything you're going to ride that's stock is going to feel wobbly and funky, but I swear that goes away when you put wide bars on. Another interesting thing is a bike like this can be really good off-road. I've been riding it in this park that has some off-road sections, some dirt trails and things like that. I've been throwing it up hills, catching air. It's so fun. I don't know. I mean, a mountain bike is fun in the same kind of conditions, but this is almost as fun. So it's kind of like a side benefit to have, a Cannondale with full suspension and be able to go off-road. Like, it's really neat. And people really, that's another thing that really trips people up. Not only is this guy on this weird bike, but he's also catching air on what looks like a lawn chair with wheels. They're cool, man. You should buy one. Buy a recumbent. Enjoy life. All right. Anyway, I will be chatting with you later.